Okay, I'm going to pan my audience so you see my folks. I have 5 adults, all Coast Guard employees. And I'm going to start my informative speech. And this is the note cards that I have. All right. Well, here's the introduction. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming again to my second speech or lecture. Is going to be on logistics transformation. So I'm gonna pass a couple things out, or actually it's one handout. Let's pass those around. So everybody's heard the term logistics transformation. It's been big part of the Coast Guard's modernization effort. And then there's a term that you may or may not have heard called the 4 cornerstones of logistics transformation and mission support. So how many people probably ask themselves, like, well, I've heard this word, what is that really all about? I see the little diagram. Got the 4 cornerstone diagram. We got some titles on there, what they are, but what does that really mean in day-to-day logistics operations? So what I'm going to try to do is give you some information on that, hopefully clarify a little bit of that on a high level. And also, I feel that those cornerstones are super critical to getting the transformation to the new business model, getting it right. So they're good cornerstones. And mission support and affordable readiness are only going to be realized through the way we carry out that transition. So without further ado, I'll just dive right into the first one, which is total asset visibility. That's the first cornerstone I'm going to talk about today. What that has to do with is all of our domains within the Coast Guard. We have air, surface, shore infrastructure, C4 IT, and we also have human resource elements. All of that stuff you could kind of consider Coast Guard assets. What we need to be able to do is know the readiness status of any of those assets all the way down to sometimes if a system's down. So for a cutter or a boat, you guys are familiar with, what we're talking about is the use of the electronic asset logbook for green meaning ready to go, can get underway, red meaning this cutter's not, you can't jump in this cutter and get underway. So that's what we're talking about with that. We got to get our arms around that and be able to identify that asset visibility. Number 2, bi-level maintenance. So what we're talking about now is very specific technical processes with regards to maintaining our assets, keeping them operational ready. So we decided to go away from a 3-level maintenance philosophy, which used to include an intermediate level. So we had the MLCs, there was the unit itself, the cutter. I'll talk about the shore stuff separate. But for the surface assets, we had the MLCs, we had the unit itself, the boat, and then we had the back end depot, which was like the shipyards, or sometimes ELC played that role. So I'm running out of my breath for a little bit. Organizational level maintenance, or O-level maintenance, is the actual crew doing the wrench turning. D level is depot level maintenance. We decided to stand up logistics centers and get rid of that middle level. So that's what bi-level maintenance is all about. So bi and 2, same. Number 3 is CM, or configuration management, that pillar. Our commitment to that is what we're talking about. We need to make sure that we get all the technical data when we buy new assets, serial number track stuff, parts, things that are configuration worthy, and we got to stop the cheap faults. So having the field just modify the boats is not good. So we got to get a handle on that. Number 4 is the concept of product lines, or the concept of having a product line manager. This is going to allow us to have standard support processes in place, and we're going to look specifically at engineering, maintenance, and supply processes, so we have those cells embedded in the product lines. That's going to allow us to have a single point of contact and accountability for any asset class. So that's a good pillar as well. So in conclusion, I'd like to really wrap this all up by saying that each of those 4 pillars are going to be critical. Without one, the whole structure is not going to work. If we just do all those other things but don't do configuration management, it's going to tie into the maintenance issues. The product lines are going to have problems, all things like that. So that's going to allow us to have affordable readiness, which is a buzzword, but if you think about it, it makes sense. We need to be good stewards of tax dollars, and this all ties to that. So unless you guys have any questions, that wraps up my information, and thanks for your time today.